Have you ever wondered if that little struggle to lift something or that slight hesitation before getting up could mean more than just another day passing? Could your muscles be sending a quiet warning that you're missing? After 60, every detail matters a bit more. If you feel your body changing, or if you're caring for someone who's reached this stage, know that you're not alone. This isn't about pointing fingers. It's about understanding, support, and giving you tools to protect what matters most: your independence and strength. Today, I want to share something that goes beyond the usual advice. You'll see how real stories and science can help you notice the signs that often go unnoticed. There's a lot of hope and some simple actions that truly work. Before we dive in, tell me below where in the world you're watching from. I love seeing this community grow. It's proof that we're connected, no matter our age or location. Now, pay close attention, because the very first clue could be hiding in the way you start your morning, and you might not even realize it. Holding a spoon steadily have you notice your hand tremble just a little as you bring a spoon to your mouth? Or maybe the soup threatens to spill before it gets there? This simple movement, so routine we barely think about it, can quietly signal that the fine strength and control in our hands are changing. It's not just about eating. It's about how confidently you interact with the world. Professionals often watch for these tiny hesitations, the small drops or shakes, because they can appear long before bigger problems show up. It's like the body giving you a gentle nudge, a secret message that your muscles and nerves are asking for a bit more attention. Picture two friends, both around 75. Helen, one morning, notices a slight shake as she's stirring her coffee. She laughs it off, but decides to try squeezing a soft stress ball during her favorite TV show each night. Within weeks, she finds folding laundry easier, her hands steadier, even when she's buttoning her blouse. She feels a quiet pride, a sense of control returning. Meanwhile, George ignores the early signs. He starts dropping forks and struggles to fasten his jacket, frustration building with every small mishap. Simple breakfast routines become stressful, and he begins to avoid outings that might involve eating in public. The independence he once took for granted feels just out of reach. If you overlook these first, subtle signs, daily life can quietly become more tiring. You might notice more spills, more dropped items, even a reluctance to tackle tasks that used to feel easy. Over time, this can chip away at your confidence and independence. But small, consistent actions can make a big difference. Practice picking up coins or snapping clothespins while watching TV. Try squeezing a softball several times a day. These habits, simple as they seem, can reignite strength and control in your hands. And while your hands speak quietly, sometimes it's what you feel but can't quite put into words that matters most. What's the next silent sign your body might be trying to show you? Moments of quiet withdrawal. Sometimes, the most revealing changes aren't in our hands or muscles, but in the way we quietly step back from the world. Maybe it's missing a favorite TV show or forgetting to call a friend on their birthday. It's easy to brush these moments aside with a joke or a shrug, but when they start to add up, they become something harder to ignore. These small, emotional shifts, hesitating before joining a conversation, or feeling a flicker of embarrassment when you lose the thread of a story, can be early signs of deeper changes within. Take Ruth, who is 74. She noticed she was repeating questions at family dinners and sometimes found herself drifting off in the middle of a conversation. At first, she felt frustrated and a little ashamed, but instead of withdrawing, she decided to talk about it with her daughter. They started a new routine. Each morning, Ruth writes down her plans for the day on a small whiteboard by the fridge. She even began playing memory games on her phone, finding a sense of pride with each tiny victory. Meanwhile, her neighbor Samuel, 79, started skipping his weekly coffee dates after forgetting an appointment. Rather than admit his worries, he laughed it off in public but felt a growing heaviness in private. Over time, he started avoiding phone calls and found excuses to stay home. The isolation, though subtle at first, began to chip away at his confidence and left him feeling more exhausted at the end of each day. These gentle but persistent signs, a hesitation here, a forgotten detail there, can quietly erode our sense of self if left unchecked. But small, daily actions can make a world of difference. Writing reminders, stretching your memory with a crossword, or inviting a loved one to share in a new habit. These are gentle ways to reclaim control and nurture kindness toward yourself. But what if the next sign isn't about what you remember or even what you do, but about what you feel when your body asks for rest? Sign 4. When rest doesn't restore, it's easy to overlook the feeling of waking up tired, assuming it's just another part of getting older. But sometimes the real sign hides behind the ordinary, when rest itself stops being restorative. Not just feeling sleepy, but that deeper sense of never quite refilling your energy, no matter how many hours you spend in bed. You close your eyes at night, but in the morning, you rise with the same weariness you carried to sleep. It's as if the body's batteries charge only halfway, leaving you with energy that fades too quickly, joy that feels muted, and motivation that never quite returns. This kind of fatigue runs deeper than the surface. It's not about laziness or lack of effort. It's often the body's quiet way of whispering that something inside isn't healing as it should. Sometimes it's little imbalances in how we recover, how our muscles repair, or how our inner rhythms keep time. You did everything right, rested, napped, try to take it easy, but the sense of renewal just doesn't come. It's a gentle, lonely fatigue that few people notice or talk about, and it can leave you feeling disconnected from your own life. Let's meet two friends, Edith and Walter, both in their 70s. Edith protects her rest with gentle routines. She dims the lights after dinner, avoids the TV late at night, and enjoys a quiet book before bed. She wakes slowly, stretching, and takes a short walk in the garden. Most days, she feels clear-headed and present, moving through her day with ease. Walter, on the other hand, shrugs off his tiredness. He naps on the couch whenever he can, stays up late with the television humming, and doesn't pay much attention to when or how he sleeps. His days blur together. Sometimes he feels groggy, forgetful, or irritable, and his energy seems to vanish by midday. Over weeks and months, poor rest quietly shapes the body and mind. Without true restoration, muscles don't recover as well, the immune system weakens, and emotions become heavier to carry. Even simple pleasures can dull, and connections with others may feel more distant. But the most important thing is that noticing this pattern opens the door to change. Imagine if, at the earliest signs, we could bring more care to our rest. How much brighter each day could feel. Small shifts can bring comfort. Try choosing a gentle bedtime, letting the lights soften as evening falls, or taking a peaceful walk when the morning is new. These simple acts remind your body that it's safe to let go and truly recharge. And while sleep quietly repairs us, there's another layer to uncover. Rest matters, but so does how. And if you nourish your body every day, eating without appetite, sometimes the first sign is quiet. You find yourself eating just to pass the time, barely tasting the food. Maybe breakfast becomes a single piece of toast, or lunch is skipped altogether. It's easy to think it doesn't matter, but when eating feels more like a task than a treat, something deeper may be changing. Losing interest in meals is about more than an empty stomach. Often, it's the body's way of whispering that it needs care. With fewer nutrients, especially protein, your muscles quietly shrink. Energy fades. Little by little, you might notice that favorite activities feel harder, or your mood is lower for no clear reason. Food is more than fuel. It's a daily moment of comfort, of memory, of joy. When it's missing, so is a piece of who you are. Let's meet Alice and Frank. Alice, at 78, keeps her meals simple but steady. She enjoys her morning oatmeal, slices fresh fruit, and sits by the window for lunch. She doesn't eat fancy foods, but she knows what makes her feel good and fills her plate with color. Frank, on the other hand, gradually stopped caring about meals. He eats whatever is easiest, often the same bland soup, sometimes forgetting dinner altogether. His days blur together, and he feels tired, less interested in conversation, and lonelier with each passing week. When meals lose their meaning, the cost is silent but real. Muscles weaken, the body slows, even the mind feels cloudier. Sometimes when the plate stays full, the body begins to empty, slowly and silently. But it doesn't have to be this way. Try eating at the same time each day, even if the meal is small. Add a splash of color with tomatoes, berries, or a favorite fruit. Drink a glass of water with every meal. Whenever possible, invite someone to join you, even if just for a cup of tea. Food fills the body, but sometimes, even when the table is set, we long for something more, something that brings us closer to others. Too many days without someone sometimes. The most dangerous sign isn't in your muscles or memory, but in the quiet that fills your days. Going too long without real company can slowly drain your strength in ways you might not notice. When laughter, conversation, or a gentle touch are missing, it's not just your mood that suffers. Your body starts to move less, your mind grows duller, even your immune system weakens. It's like the engine inside you loses its spark, simply because no one else is around to help keep it running. Take Irene, 78, who starts every morning by calling her sister, then takes a stroll with her neighbor or shares a cup of tea with a friend. She feels lighter, more awake. Her steps have purpose. Her days are colored by small moments of warmth. Then there's Leonard, 82, who rarely hears from anyone anymore. He eats his meals in silence, turns on the television just to fill the space, and finds himself rereading old magazines out of habit. Each day feels a little heavier, his thoughts a little slower, and even getting up to stretch becomes an effort. Over time, this invisible distance can quietly steal more than just happiness. It can cloud your mind, dampen your energy, and make your body more vulnerable to illness. It isn't only about being alone. It's about what begins to fade when no one is there to notice your smile, your stories, even your struggles. But there are gentle ways to turn this around. Try calling someone you care about, even if it's just once a week. Wave to a neighbor, join a small group, or send a message to an old friend. Even a simple hello can be enough to remind your heart and your body that you're still connected. And yet, sometimes, change doesn't begin in the heart. Sometimes, the first warning comes from the body itself, in ways that are even easier to miss. The emptiness at the table. When sharing disappears from your days, there's a special kind of ache that comes quietly when the chair across from you stays empty. When the house is filled only with your own footsteps. This is the silence of emotional isolation. And it's one of the most hidden, yet powerful, signals our bodies and minds can send. We often overlook how much our well-being depends on connection. The heart needs more than a healthy pulse. It needs warmth, laughter, even the simple ritual of saying good morning. When conversations fade and days blend together in solitude, the body feels it too. Stress hormones rise, memory falters, even the immune system grows weaker, as if protecting us becomes less urgent when affection is missing. The absence of meaningful contact can quietly steal away energy, hope, and will. Imagine two people in the same morning. Margaret wakes up and calls her sister, sharing news, laughter, and worries over coffee. She joins a neighbor for a short walk, waving to familiar faces. Her steps feel lighter, her mind sharper, her spirits lifted. Across town, Harold sits alone at his kitchen table. He eats breakfast in silence, scrolls through old photos, but avoids making calls. The days feel heavy, and sleep brings little rest. Small aches grow, and his memory no longer feels as reliable as before. The contrast is clear. Connection is a kind of nourishment. When this emptiness is ignored, it can lead to more than sadness. It may invite depression, sap motivation, and cloud the mind. The body, deprived of purpose and warmth, slowly shuts down. But this happens to many, and it's always possible to change. Sometimes, reaching out is as simple as sending a message to a friend or joining a weekly online chat. Even a 5-minute exchange can be the thread that weaves you back into life's fabric. You don't need to carry the silence alone, because just as emotional distance wears us down, physical signals begin to appear when your balance wavers, or your breath feels shorter. And so, as we move forward, let's listen to what the body tells us next. Subtle signs of instability, a stumble here, another there. But what if it's not just a distraction? When you find yourself losing balance as you get up from the sofa, or you grip the handrail a bit tighter when climbing stairs, your body might be sending a quiet warning. These minor slips, a slight wobble while turning a corner, or a misstep on the sidewalk, could be early signs that your muscles, nerves, or posture are not as strong as before. It's easy to dismiss these moments as clumsiness or a normal part of aging, but often, they are the body's first call for attention, long before a serious fall happens. Take Edith, for example. She noticed she was catching herself on door frames and hesitating before stepping into the shower. Instead of ignoring these moments, she spoke with her doctor and began simple balance exercises at home, using a sturdy chair for support. Slowly, she regained confidence and now moves with greater security and joy. On the other hand, Walter waved off his frequent slips in the kitchen as just one of those things. He avoided mentioning it to family and kept walking as usual until one day a slip turned into a painful fall and a long recovery in the hospital. The embarrassment and fear that followed made him hesitant to leave the house, and his independence began to fade. Ignoring these subtle signs of instability can have serious consequences: fractures, hospital stays, and a loss of the freedom to live as you choose. The good news is that prevention is simple and powerful. Just 5 minutes a day practicing balance, like walking heel to toe in a straight line or standing on one foot with support, can make an enormous difference. These small habits are an investment in your autonomy and peace of mind. But not all risks are at our feet. Sometimes the next challenge is hidden deeper, felt in the spaces between heartbeats, or in emotions we can't quite name. What your heart still holds close sometimes, the deepest sign of aging isn't seen in the mirror or felt in tired muscles, but sensed in the gentle weight the heart carries. Old regrets, unsaid words, silent sorrows. These are invisible stones, quietly shaping how we stand, move, and greet each day. When emotions remain unspoken or wounds unhealed, the body remembers. Tension lingers in the shoulders, sleep becomes shallow, energy fades. The immune system grows weary under the constant ripple of stress. Habits shift, the appetite dulls, laughter grows rare. It's not about blaming yourself for what you never said, but about allowing space for those feelings to breathe, soften, and finally be released. The body ages faster when the soul refuses to let go of what should have already left. Imagine Leonard, who has kept his grief and frustrations hidden for decades. He avoids conversations that might stir old pain, keeps a tight lid on memories that ache, and finds himself waking in the night, heart pounding, restless. The days feel heavy, each movement a little more difficult. Now picture Alice, who, after years of silence, begins to write down her feelings. She pens letters she'll never send, whispers prayers before sleep, and sometimes shares her memories with a trusted friend. Gradually, her face softens, her steps become lighter. There's a new brightness in her eyes, a gentle steadiness in her hands. Unreleased pain can quietly lock us away from life. It drains our joy, narrows our world, and whispers that we are alone. The heart that cannot open keeps the body from truly breathing. Yet small acts of release, writing, forgiving, praying, or simply allowing yourself to feel, are gifts you give yourself. Forgiveness doesn't erase the past, but it does free you from its grip. And as the heart lightens, the body remembers how to feel alive again. What might you discover about your own strength and purpose once you've made space for new light to enter? Today, you had the chance to look inside with your eyes and with your heart. Together, we explored the subtle signs that appear as we grow older, not as diagnoses or sentences, but as gentle invitations to take care of ourselves. Every detail you notice, from the way your body moves to the quiet spaces in your mind, can reveal new paths to longer, more vibrant years. The journey through aging is not just about what we lose, but about what we can still nurture: strength, connection, and meaning. Now, I invite you to pause for a moment and truly observe your own rhythm. Notice how you walk, how you sleep, how you feel at the end of the day. Pay attention to your emotions and to the people around you, your family, your friends, even your own thoughts. Change doesn't have to be overwhelming. You don't have to do everything at once. But you can start with one simple gesture today, maybe a mindful walk, an honest conversation, or choosing a nourishing meal. That small choice can open the door to a cascade of positive changes. The future is built one caring act at a time, and you're the architect. Thank you for being here, for listening, reflecting, and choosing to value your life and the lives of those around you. Your dedication to care and awareness is a true sign of wisdom and strength. It's a privilege to share this journey with you. If this message resonated with you, subscribe to the channel and activate notifications. This way, you'll always have access to content that inspires you to care for yourself and continue learning how to live more fully and consciously. Each new video is an open invitation to put yourself first, today and every day. Remember, it isn't time that steals your strength, but ignoring the signals your body and heart send you. Listen closely. Respond with kindness. There's still time to shape a stronger, happier future, one choice, one day at a time.